Tyson Fury was bigger, heavier, and according to many experts, almost impossible to beat. Across the ring stood Oleksandr Usyk, a former cruiserweight moving up to challenge the biggest fighter of his career. But before the night was over, Usyk would do what many thought was impossible and change heavyweight boxing forever. Why Fury was the favorite. Before the fight, most people believed Tyson Fury had all the advantages. He was bigger, he was heavier, he had a longer reach, and many experts believed those advantages would simply be too much for Usyk to overcome. Fury wasn't just the bigger fighter, he was one of the most successful heavyweights of his generation. He had defeated elite opponents, he had survived difficult moments, and he had already proven that he could adapt to almost any style. Standing nearly a foot taller than Usyk and carrying significantly more weight, Fury looked like a nightmare matchup on paper. Many analysts expected him to control the distance, lean on his size, and slowly wear the smaller man down. The prediction seemed simple. If Fury could keep the fight at his range, Usyk would struggle to get close enough to do meaningful damage. That's why so many people picked Fury before the opening bell. The size difference was impossible to ignore. But boxing isn't always won on paper, and Usyk was about to prove exactly that. Fury's early success. When the fight began, it looked like Tyson Fury's game plan was working perfectly. He controlled the distance, he used his jab effectively, and his size advantage immediately became a factor. For the first few rounds, Fury looked comfortable. Fury wasn't rushing anything. He stayed relaxed and fought at his own pace. Using his reach, he forced Usyk to work hard just to get into range. Every time the Ukrainian tried to close the distance, Fury met him with the jab or tied him up on the inside. The bigger man appeared to be dictating the fight. He was landing clean shots, controlling the center of the ring, and making Usyk think twice before attacking. At that stage, many viewers felt the fight was unfolding exactly as expected. But beneath the surface, something important was happening. Even while losing some of the early rounds, Usyk was gathering information. He was studying Fury's timing, looking for patterns, looking for openings. And while Fury appeared to be in control, the momentum of the fight was slowly beginning to shift in a direction that few people noticed at the time. How Usyk started making adjustments. As the fight moved into the middle rounds, Usyk began to change the rhythm. He wasn't trying to match Fury's size, he was trying to outthink him. Little by little, the Ukrainian started finding ways around Fury's biggest advantages. Instead of attacking in straight lines, Usyk began using more angles and movement. He entered quickly, landed his shots, and exited before Fury could fully respond. The jab that had been working early suddenly became less effective. Fury was still landing punches, but he was no longer controlling every exchange. Usyk's footwork was creating problems. His pace was increasing, and with each round, he looked more comfortable inside the ring. The fight was slowly moving toward the type of battle that favored him. What made these adjustments so important was their timing. Usyk didn't panic after losing early rounds. He stayed patient and continued collecting information. Then, he began turning that information into opportunities. Fury still looked dangerous, but he was no longer dictating everything that happened. And for the first time, the momentum started shifting toward Usyk. The moment Fury lost momentum. Up until this point, Fury looked comfortable. He was controlling large parts of the fight and using his size effectively. But somewhere in the middle rounds, that control started to disappear, and the fight began moving in Usyk's direction. The change wasn't sudden. It happened little by little. Usyk's movement became harder to track. His combinations became more frequent, and Fury was being forced to work at a pace he didn't enjoy. The big heavyweight was still having moments of success, but he was no longer dictating every exchange. Instead of making Usyk react, Fury was starting to react himself. For the first time in the fight, the momentum was slipping away from him. What made this moment so important was how subtle it looked in real time. There wasn't a knockdown, there wasn't a dramatic turning point, yet. But the balance of the fight was changing. Usyk was growing stronger with every round, and Fury was slowly losing the control that had made him so successful early on. Round 9, the turning point. Then came the round that changed everything. Up until that point, the fight had been competitive. Both men had their moments. But in round 9, Oleksandr Usyk took control in a way nobody could ignore. This was the turning point of the entire fight. Usyk began the round with relentless pressure. His footwork was sharp, his combinations were precise, and Fury suddenly looked overwhelmed. The Ukrainian landed clean shot after clean shot, forcing the heavyweight champion backward. For the first time all night, Fury looked genuinely hurt. The punches kept coming. The pressure never stopped. And as the seconds ticked away, Usyk was on the verge of finishing the fight. The momentum had completely shifted. Even though Fury survived the round, nothing felt the same afterward. The aura of control he had earlier in the fight was gone. Usyk had proven he could hurt him. More importantly, he had proven he could dominate him. From that moment forward, every remaining round carried the memory of what happened in round 9. And Fury never fully recovered from it. Why Usyk won the fight. By the championship rounds, the reason for Usyk's success was becoming clear. He wasn't winning because he was bigger. He wasn't winning because he was stronger. He was winning because he consistently found solutions to every problem Fury presented. Throughout the fight, Usyk showed why many consider him one of the smartest boxers in the world. When Fury controlled the distance early, Usyk adjusted. When the jab became a problem, Usyk found new angles. When the pace slowed down, Usyk increased the pressure. Round after round, he made small changes that slowly shifted the fight in his favor. Fury had advantages in size, weight, and reach. But Usyk's footwork, timing, and ring IQ allowed him to overcome every one of them. That's what ultimately separated the two fighters. Fury had moments of success, but Usyk was the one making the better adjustments. He stayed disciplined when the fight was difficult. He remained focused when opportunities appeared. And when the biggest moments arrived, he was the fighter who took control. That's why his hand was raised at the end of the night. Before the fight, many people believed Tyson Fury would be too big, too skilled, and too experienced. But Oleksandr Usyk had other plans. Over 12 rounds, he overcame the size disadvantage, survived difficult moments, and slowly turned the fight in his favor. And that's why this victory will always be remembered, not just as a win, but as the night Usyk made heavyweight history.